My name's Kevin Haynes and I work for the International Classroom Project, which is a project at the centre of the university. And I work with colleagues, teachers and students across the university in the different faculties. An international classroom can be all kinds of things. What it is most essentially is a situation in which people come from different backgrounds and there's diversity of some sort, either in the people themselves or in the knowledge that's being discussed. I think the main reason is to make sure that people coming from outside this area or from the Netherlands are included in the education. I think very often, of course, as we're in the Netherlands, there is a Dutch culture and there are Dutch attitudes and expectations. And when you get people coming from different places, obviously they come with different expectations and different values. So if we're not careful, those people get accidentally excluded from all kinds of processes, either by culture or by language. The main aim obviously is this aim of inclusion, to make sure that everybody feels comfortable and that people are not excluded, but obviously it's also to do with as you have diversity and different backgrounds and different values and different cultures, you can actually learn from those differences. So the diversity becomes a resource in the learning and teaching in the classroom, and you can actually use it as a positive impact on the education. The project got started on a small scale, so we did cases at different faculties. We did a case at medicine in the IBMG programme, for instance, and we looked at good practices which were already happening, and then we thought about what was good about the things that were happening and what could be improved. And we talked to all kinds of different stakeholders in those environments, students, teachers, educational designers, and so we built these pilot cases as examples that could be used by other people. An example now, what we're working on at the moment, is a project at the law faculty in which we're trying to help the teachers and students to better understand how cultures may work during group work. So when students are working in different groups with students from other places, very often it goes very well, and very often they're very happy, but sometimes there are also problems that come up, and we're trying to build awareness of the fact that these problems may or may not be to do with the cultures that people have and to do with the different expectations that people may have. I think that the main thing I've learned is that we need to include as many people as possible, as many stakeholders, right from the beginning of any kind of activity. So we've especially been working with study associations, for instance, to make sure that the students are involved in the process and that they understand what we're doing. That's very important because the informal curriculum is very much part of the process that allows people to become part of the learning. So it's really important to work with different people. Students are very much our partners in this process. I think what we have to do for the future is we have to try to build strong communities of learning where the International clearly has an explicit position, and that people have talked about this and discussed it, so that when people are talking about their international classroom in a specific programme, they really know what they're talking about, and it's not just vague terminology, but it's something which is actually translated into practice. I think in terms of the learning that we've done as a project, I think what's really important is to think about the fact that often there are good practices, and these good practices are going on all over the university. Those good practices often get isolated, so the good practices have to be supported by proper policy from the university itself. They need to be properly resourced, so that involves financing them, of course. But then you have policy somewhere up there and you have practice somewhere down here. So what's really important is to make the link, the bridge between the policy and the practice. And what we do a lot is work with certain principles which have been developed, which help people to understand how the policy can be translated into practice.